What is going on, painting company owners? Happy Friday. Brandon from Painter Marketing Pros here. Just had an amazing, as always, an amazing Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast episode recording with Zachary Ausherman of Ausherman Painting. They are based in York, Pennsylvania. It's actually where I was born. Only lived there for a year, but still close to my heart. And what I've noticed is every one of the guests that we have on the Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast series has kind of a unique. They all have a unique story. They all have a business that's unique from one another, even though they're all doing over 1 million. But they all kind of have their own expertise, and based on their story and their journey, their own unique value to share. And Zach was definitely no exception. He he had a lot of really good insights. But one of the things we focused on a lot today was secession and some of the pains that go along with that. It's pretty common for painting companies that have been around for a long time and that are more successful to ultimately be handed down, right? And however that looks, to ultimately be handed down to a son or a daughter, and it to be a family business and a legacy that continues. And I think for a lot of you guys, I think that that's kind of the goal. I think it's one of the goals. Not for everybody, but for a good amount of painting company owners, I think it is one of the goals. And I think it's awesome. It's a beautiful thing, but it doesn't come without its challenges, right? So Zach, that the Ausherman Painting is 42 years old. Zach took it over only 9 months ago, and they have not historically had an employee retention problem. Their longest employee has actually been there for 32 years. 32 years, which is wild, that they've had one painter there that long. But obviously they're doing something right, and they've had people there for 10 years and then so forth. But there was a big turnover when Zach took over. And I wouldn't say it was because Zach's some kind of jerk. I would actually say kind of the opposite. He was really enabling his team, to basically take more ownership of their work, to make more decisions, and almost upgrading their job roles. But when you have a culture that is 41 years old, and you have people who are accustomed to a culture, and the way that Zach's dad apparently ran the company was a little bit more, I'll say what to do and you'll do it. You know, you have a certain sort of breed of employee there. They're accustomed to doing things a certain way. So then when you come in and shift the culture and say, hey, I want you to actually take ownership of the work. I want you to take pride in the work. I want to start having more cultural incentives, right? Incentives for employees to generate reviews for Ausherman Painting. Um, I want you to really feel a part of the team and like you own this. You're not just an employee or a cog, and I just tell you what to do, and that's that. Well, I mean, it sounds great. It sounds like everyone would be on board for that, but there's been kind of some growing pains there. There was a good amount of turnover, and ultimately the reason that turnover occurred is because the company that Ausherman Painting now is not the company it was a year ago or the prior 41 years before that. So it's just an interesting concept, this idea that change does need to happen. At Painter Marketing Pros, we've found that we generate a lot of clients that way when succession occurs, because some painting company owners have been in running their business a certain way for a very long time, and they operate on referrals or this or that, and then maybe not bought into the idea of marketing more proactively. They think they don't need to, or save the money, or maybe it's more of a lifestyle business, whatever the reason, and then it gets taken over by next of kin, and they are a little bit more forward thinking with how they want to do things. They have some more ideas about expansion, about the kinds of employees they would like to hire, and yeah, so we've seen it, but it was really interesting to hear directly from Zach's point of view, and they've also grown tremendously over the last couple of years. So they've gone from being actually a sub $1 million company to quite comfortably within that 7-figure range at this point. So it was a great episode. The Painter Marketing Mastermind podcast is set to be released, I believe, by the end of next week. Super, super excited, super excited. The information that has been shared by the guests so far is just mind-boggling. So very excited to release that. Um, Zach's superpower was talking about secession issues. He had a lot of other great things he talked about as well. But his specific struggles and the way that he's dealt with them and overcome them with the secession that was really good to hear. And I think for any family businesses that are kind of find themselves in that sort of realm or might be in that realm, definitely worth listening to Zach. All right, let's crush the final day of the week and head into the weekend going strong.